Mika, it's been a minute. I feel like I see you once a summer. I go watch Open Gym. It's you and Yoli and TJ and the guys, and then it's the
old crew.
Current crew. Yeah, that's always fun to watch. But how's the G League, man? You're hanging out in Henderson.
Yeah.
You're getting a triple double, stepping on Kyle Collinsworth turf here.
Yeah,
How's it going, man?
with all these people calling me Mr. Triple Double, I was thinking Kyle might take offense to that. Consider he probably, since I got one, 3 days ago, he's probably already gotten another one in Japan.
Yeah, I think he just got one as we were speaking.
Yeah,
right now.
like right now, I'm watching. No, he gets them all the time, so I can't quite take over that name. But yeah, Henderson's been awesome. We love living here. The team's been a lot of fun. You know, it's such a unique dynamic being on this Ignite team. You know, way different experience from the last time I was in the G League. But super enjoyable. It's been a lot of fun, and yeah, we're loving it down here.
So walk us through how you kind of got to this G League, because 2 years in Italy, Germany, G League, China, spell with the Kings, Serbia, France. You've been all over, man. Mm-hmm. And then you ultimately come back to the G League, and this is the most unique G League team that exists, it seems like.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's a testament to relationships in basketball and the people that you know, and timing, because last year we tried to make this work, but it didn't work. You know, we signed with a French team. I think a week before we would have signed with this team. But we're happy that we came this year because it's in Vegas, which is so close to our home, versus last year's in Walnut Creek, which was a little, you know, so just a little bit farther. But yeah, the GM of this team was an assistant GM for the Kings when I was in Sacramento, and the head GM for the Stockton Kings. And so, you know, his name is Anthony McClish, and we stayed in touch, and you know, we're really good friends. And so when he sort of took over this thing as the GM this last year, you know, he threw it out there for me. And after 2 years I've mostly been injured. You know, last year in France, I had a wrist surgery, and so I was out from November to the rest of the season. The year before that in Belgrade, I was out with COVID for almost 2 months, and then I broke my right elbow. You know, so I've just been battling all these injuries. You know, great spots, great teams. You know, and it's been a lot of fun. But when you're hurt, it just sucks. You know, being so far away. And so, you know, just wanting to be back home a little bit closer with our son, you know, getting more games under my belt in one season, because the G League, you know, they play 50 games. It just kind of made sense, and it's been a lot of fun.
Talking to Eric Mika on BYU Sports Nation, you get to play in some cool situations. Obviously, this team is built to like cater to get guys to the NBA draft, and so you playing with Scoot Henderson. What's that like? And then you played against Victor Wembanyama. What was that like?
Yeah, both very cool situations. You know, playing against Victor was cool because you heard so much about him. You know, going back to last year, I played against him in France as well, and then even seeing his growth from last season to this season was cool. He's definitely gotten better. And what I liked about him was he played in both games. And what I mean by that is he played really well in the first game. I don't remember his stat line, but he crushed it. He showed everyone that he's a real number one, you know, potential pick. Like he has that, you know, ability to go number one and not, you know, be some fluke. But then he played in the second one because he was mad that he lost. And, you know, despite his agent and his team, and I'm sure his counsel telling him, hey, you shouldn't play, really, even this season, you know, you've shown what you need to show. You know, he wanted to play because he lost. Like, he's a gamer, you know, he likes to play. And he's not going to sit out to protect his draft stock or anything like that. And I really like that about him. And that's, you know, same goes for Scoot. He's the same way. Like after his big games, he could have sat out. After his start to the season, he could have sat out. You know, he got a concussion. He was out for a couple of weeks, but he just wanted to be back on the court. Like, he loves playing. He's a super, super good kid. that works harder than anybody on the team, and he's the second youngest on the team. So, it's been a lot of fun playing with him. I'm really excited to see where he ends up. At 1 or 2, depending on what teams need. They're very different players. So, there's this consensus that it'll be Wembanyama, which it very might well be. But, Scoot, as a lot of people will say, would be number 1 in a lot of other draft classes. Like he's the real deal. And I think he's going to be in the league for a long time.
You're at the point of your career where they're kids now?
Yeah, they're kids.
You're getting old, man.
We have one guy who he's supposed to be a senior in high school. He's turned 18.
That's a kid.
Season. That's a kid.
Yeah.
That's a kid. But that's what makes, I tell everyone that's what makes Ignite so fun is you have at the beginning of the season, you have a 17-year-old and you have a 39-year-old all on the team and everything else in between. So, a lot of different levels of experience. You have guys that are super, super raw and young in the world of basketball. And then you have guys that are really experienced that have played all over the place and made a name for themselves. So being right there in the middle for me has been a lot of fun.
You still hoping to make the NBA again?
Yeah, I mean, that is part of the reason of trying to be here is it's a really good platform to get a call up. Call ups happen every year in the G League, and being on a team without any affiliation, it's kind of like you can be picked off by anybody. So yeah, it's a hope. I wouldn't say it's like the primary goal of coming to this team, just because you just can't rely on call ups. They're, far and in between, and it's right time, right place. It's okay, what team has a big that has a super similar skill set to mine go down, gets hurt, gets cut, gets COVID, whatever it is, you're really kind of just waiting to see what happens. But like I said, couldn't be a better spot to be waiting in.
And you played with Team USA, which is cool. Is that going to happen some more? That was awesome to follow. You get to play in Puerto Rico on the 4th of July or something? Right?
Yep. Yeah, we were in Puerto Rico, Cuba, Vegas, and then Colombia this last summer. So they did invite me to come back and play in this last window for the World Cup in February. But I say we because me and my teammate John Jenkins, who was also on Team USA and is on my team with Ignite, we decided that we're not going to do it this time. Just the logistics of this trip are insane. They're going to they're doing like a training camp in Houston and then overnighting down to Uruguay, playing against Uruguay, and then they're going to overnight down to Brazil. And so just doing that with a training camp all in the middle of the season was just a lot. So we ended up deciding not to do it. But it was a tough decision because as hard as it would have been in those 12 days, it would have been a lot of fun. It's really awesome playing for them.
You're not an Amazon package, so this is not going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's quite the trip. That would be eventful and extremely tiring. I saw in a video that the G League released that your hidden talent is now ceramics. You've taken some classes. We making some pottery, dog?
Now, like I said in the video, it's not my hidden talent yet.
You're working on it.
But I'm working on it. Yeah. I've taken a couple of classes. I have a lot of fun doing it. I'm horrible at it. It's not easy. But I would really like that to be my hidden talent. So I guess that tells you where I'm at as far as hidden talents, because I'm hoping for one. I don't even have one.
It won't be hidden though, because I just brought it up. It'll just be a talent.
Yeah, they just put it out there for the whole world to see.
It'd be awesome what I said though.
Just having a little creative outlet is all I'm looking for.
Yeah, everybody needs that, whether it's music or art or
I don't have it. I know I have it.
Hey, for now, right? We're all working on it. Yeah, we have some shelves on the set. If we had like a piece of like pottery from Eric Mika, that would be unbelievable. So once you get to the point where you're super comfortable with it and you're just like, I made this for you guys.
Making like anything but like a penny tray or a small soup bowl.
Penny tray. Like I put my thumb in for like a minute and then I was good.
Yeah,
no, I'm sure it's more complicated.
When I can make anything half decent, there will be one on the show.
Okay, I love it. Okay, you're always playing St. Mary's Saturday, by the way. So we got to talk about St. Mary's.
This is at home.
This is at home. This is the last home game against St. Mary's. They'll go to Moraga later. Famously made the choke sign after a win against the Gales. How do you feel about the St. Mary's rivalry and what consumed you in that moment years ago?
Yeah, I was a kid. There's that word. I was so mad. I remember I was just so mad because these fans, it's a small gym when you play there. And, to me as a freshman, you don't know like the landscape of the conference. You don't have like individual agendas against team. I didn't realize that there was a rivalry. I didn't know they were historically a really good team. Like they were just a team that was making me mad. Like I didn't know who they were. I didn't care who they were. I was just in a small gym and these two fans were yelling at me the whole game, telling me that I was overrated, I was a bust, and I remember being in foul trouble, and so they kept doing the choking sign to me. These were like two guys in the student section. They're like, "You're choking, you suck." And
it was the two students in the student section.
There were two students, these two guys, and they were yelling at me the whole game. And I was staring at them the whole game, just fuming because I was on the bench. I had foul trouble, and we were down big, and they kept doing the sign to me. And like I said, I was young, I was just a kid, and definitely let the emotions get the best of me in that moment. But we had a sweet comeback, and I got to hit him with the choke sign. It just had to be on ESPN.
There were a few moments like that for you.
And I think I got caught on camera doing a couple of things that year, talking to the crowd and saying things I shouldn't have said. And at a certain point, I don't know if it was after this game or after St. Mary's at home, when two guys got ejected, at least one for hitting me in the face. I think Coach Rose, we were watching film, and Coach Rose just like, "Eric, I don't know what you're doing, but you got to just take it easy, man." You always have something to say. He's like, "I can't even defend you anymore. You gotta start cleaning it up. Stop fighting everybody out there." But yeah, awesome game, great rivalry. That first year I went 2-0 against them, and then my last year at BYU, they sent me out with an 0-3, even though we had split with Gonzaga. So very good team. I think last I saw they were ranked 22. I don't know if they've moved up since then, but
well, they're 22, but they're like top 10 in net and defensive efficiency. Like they are underrated. They are
they're just like, exactly. It's those like, it's just that system, Randy Bennett knows what he's doing. They're like a well-oiled machine. So even when they're not good, their down years, they're still like a really solid team that might just be developing or getting used to one another, a little bit young, whatever it is. But it's a big one. And I know we let that Gonzaga game slip at home. So, I hope we can pull it off on Saturday.
I don't even remember the fact that you went 0-3 that year against St. Mary's. I just remember the number one, the undefeated, that was an unbelievable moment. Like I would argue that's the best win over Gonzaga ever from BYU.
Yeah, I mean, I did.
You're down 18-2, right?
Yeah, that was part of the reason it was so great. There were a lot of reasons, but that was definitely one of them. Really, really rocky start for us. Couldn't buy a bucket. I did like the one. What year? Maybe was it 2020, where they just kind of shellacked them from start to end. I mean, that team was just the greatest team that. We don't know what would have happened, unfortunately. But yeah, being on the 27 or 2016, whatever, 17 one. Yeah. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased. That was a fun game.
Yeah.
People still. I mean, that's what they know me by.
Yeah.
You're the guy that beat Gonzaga.
Yeah. No, it was special. I believe you're the first 2-and-done in BYU history as well. 2 years.
Big time.
And after the sophomore.
A lot of firsts.
A lot of first.
First triple double.
Let's go.
2-and-done.
Let's go. And I love that moment with St. Mary's back to that because both teams have traded those moments, right?
Yeah,
it's Dell with the dagger. It's Waldo throwing the mouthpiece. It's you with the choke sign. Like those are rivalry moments. Like I know you're like I was in Canada. I'm like I love that.
That's why I brought it up because like I didn't realize the gravity of it until we won. And so going into it, I was in the middle of the game, I was mad. I was like, who are these guys? And then by the end of it, I was like, okay, I get it. And I hate them. And that's why I'm going to do the choke sign back to them, and from then on, it just, I never, undervalued or went into any of these WCC games like the same, because I was like, man, this is like good basketball. It's intense. Like every single one of our opponents is gonna give us their best shot, as they do, to Gonzaga, and so a lot of fun.
And it's sports hate. It's not real hate, which is not cool. It's sports hate. Like Bill Simmons talks about, it's sports hate. He's like, I hate the Lakers. I don't want the people who are the Lakers. I just hate the Lakers. Yeah, it's all good.
I mean, you come across that all the time where you hate somebody during the game, and then the second it ends, you actually talk to them. I mean, they're the same as the rest of your teammates. They're the same as you.
Yeah.
Like nothing's different. It's just they're wearing a different jersey.
Yeah. Let's compete. Let's compete, and then we're done. Okay. Last question. BYU in the Big 12. What do you think of kind of this move for the Cougars starting next season? It's certainly in basketball going to be a massive opportunity and challenge.
Yeah. Very exciting. I really, really like it. I think the consensus is that football, hopefully has some footing right away. They've been playing a lot of these teams anyways. Not a lot of these teams, but some of these teams. So I think they have some quote unquote experience in the Big 12, and I'm excited for that. And basketball, like it's unreal. It's the best, statistically proven the best basketball conference. I think at some point I was looking at a tweet talking about, this would have been 2 or 3 weeks ago, there were like 10 of the Big 12 teams had like, I don't know, 10 of the top 15 net spots or something like something absurd.
All 10 are in the top 75.
Yeah. I mean, there you go. Like, and we're deep in the season, so it's not like, it's no joke, night in and night out. It's going to be really hard. Even the bottom of the Big 12 is going to be a really, really well-coached, probably super experienced basketball team. So it's going to be tough, but I think it's going to bring BYU to another level. And, they have the tools necessary. And if they don't have them right now, then they're going to, continue to build in the next, I would imagine 6 months, adding a little bit of staff, but they have the facility, they have a great coaching staff. The administrative side is awesome. So I'm really excited for it. I think there for sure will be some growing pains, as there always is with any team going to a big time conference like that. But it's going to be fun to watch. Well, good luck against Salt Lake City Stars and another Lone Peak guy in Frank Jackson. That's kind of fun. Frankie J. Got to take it to it. We played against them at least 3 times, maybe 4. And he hasn't played yet. He had some sicknesses, and I think he had like a foot thing, but I believe he's playing tomorrow. So that'll be fun to reunite. Okay, good talking to you. Best of luck. Thanks, Eric. Okay, thank you. Good talking to you, Jarom.